And I saw, okay, that's what I was missing. Like,
This video is being watched by students in Spain and also in India. I just told you that we have compulsory attendance, which was a very big shock for you.
In Berlin, Germany for a month and a half, New York for another month and a half, South Korea, in Seoul for 2 months. For them to develop something, I'm not going to develop a huge food brand. I have a company, I own a company. Get away of the people you have nowadays around you. Go by yourself, forget about everyone, and find who you are, and then you can choose who you want to be with you.
So we have approx 3,500 students in this building.
Wow.
But out of them, only selected 60 to 70 students get to be a part of the budding entrepreneurs forum.
And sorry, what do you have to do to be selected?
You have to give at least 3 interviews. You have to show the best of your skill set. There are different departments. For example, there is photography, there is podcast department, there is social media. So we do everything for our forum. It is a business in itself. We have a leader who's the president, we have vice presidents, we have a secretary. They all decide that we have to make sure this event happens. And then we are departmentalized into categories. And for this event, only people with this badge had the access for it.
Wow.
So there are 3,000 other students in this college, in this university right now in this building, who have no idea that there is somebody known as Celia who's from Spain who's coming. So we have exclusive access to people like you, exclusive communication rights, etc. So that is what we do. So this is our podcast channel. If you could please start again. So sorry.
Yeah, don't worry. Okay, my name is Celia. I'm from Spain, and I'm 20 years old. Actually, I'm studying Lane. That is a degree based on leadership, entrepreneurship, and innovation. It's something different from all the stuff I ever heard. We don't have exams. We don't have teachers, sketches, lessons. Like, we don't have any traditional thing while we're studying, because actually we're not studying. We're learning by doing and doing the entrepreneurship thing.
Okay.
So I have a company. I own a company with my 8 teammates because we created in Lane. This is like the first step when you go into Lane. And then with that company, you have to develop projects to learn. So you don't have to go to class to listen to a teacher. If you want to learn about finance, it's perfect. You have a company, you run a business, you have to know.
Right.
But if maybe I'm in love with, I don't know, photography, we were talking about it. Okay, I can develop a project about photography.
Okay.
And I have to know about finance because it's a project in a business, but I can also learn about photography. I don't need a person who teaches me about it. I can find a mentor, a course, whatever, but that stuff. And each year we travel around the world. We go to different continents to develop the projects that we have, and also to learn about others, because when you go to a different ecosystem and you meet different people, see how they work, how they think, how they live, like, you have then to think about yourself and say, okay, what I was doing was right or it was not.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been in Berlin, Germany for a month and a half. I've also been in New York for another month and a half. And then I also been in South Korea, in Seoul for 2 months. And now I'm here in India. I've been in Mumbai, now Pune, then Kolkata and Agra.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is your 4th country.
Yeah.
In a span of 6 months. So you've traveled so much in 6 months now, right?
No. I've been like, in first year, I went to Berlin, in second to New York.
Okay.
And in third, I've been traveling 3 months. 2 in South Korea and 1 here.
1 year.
Yeah, about 3 months.
Tedious travel.
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah, but do you think that traveling is more important than classroom studies?
Yeah.
Or how does that differ from classroom studies? Because initially, if I have a question that if I start doing a business, I'm going to do so many wrong things. I have no idea what to do. For example, when I was making a podcast for the first time, I had no idea what I was doing and I was learning. Now, if it is an actual business, the chances of that failing are so high, and I'm so worried about it. So, how do you tackle that part? That what when you actually fail, your entire business is dependent on it. Does that bring a little bit of pressure on you? Does that
Yeah.
happen?
For sure. I mean, I think that the people who are in lane, you have to know, or at least to be with the attitude of learning about dealing with stress and manage it. It's heavy, just not just because like having a break, also because the people around you is not doing the same stuff. You're 20 years old and your friends are not doing this stuff.
Correct.
They're
right.
doing other stuff.
Right.
And you are away from your house. But away, far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the
and
other side of the
of the world. And it's like, okay, I'm alone, I have to do it. And it's like having projects when you are like 18, 19, 20, it's so heavy and so crazy. And as you say, you're going to fail. But something that I really like about Lane is the focus that we have in failure. Like we don't actually use that word.
Okay.
We use learnings.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah?
That's
Like
a good
we try to like change our mindset because society tells you all the time that you are failing. Like all the time. Even if you split your coffee,
Right.
you just fail. Okay, no, I didn't fail. I just split my coffee.
Right.
Okay. So we try to not think as a failure. We try to think as, okay, I just learned. And that's the best thing that could happen to a person.
Yeah.
And also we have like another thing that for me it's so important. It's hard because of society that makes you think one way and you have to change your mindset. But we try to focus on process and not results.
Okay.
Like, I don't care. It's not like I don't care, but it is not going to be such a deal if you've been trying to develop your project, but when you are with your client, you didn't sell him. Don't worry, you didn't sell, but what about your process? What have you been doing? What have you been learning? What have you developed? Like, is your comfort zone the same now than before doing this project?
Right.
Okay, so if it's not the same,
Then you learn something from it.
you've been learning. I mean, I can see that when you are like in the typical university, it doesn't matter if you've been studying like 5 minutes or 5 days. The only focus is your mark.
Right.
Okay? So I know like society makes you think that way and it's not your fault.
Okay.
But it's your responsibility and your decision to change your focus.
Right.
You can like keep seeing that way of life like, okay, the most important is I have a 10 in my marks or did I have a 4? But how many hours I spent working? Did I really learn or not?
Right.
Maybe I just cheat on the exam, so
Right.
it makes sense or not.
Right.
So it's your responsibility to decide if you want to change your mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, when you were in these different countries, whether it be Berlin, whether it be Korea, whether it be India, as a business owner, how do you see the differences in the countries? And also, how do you adapt to them? Because if you want to make a global product, a product that can be acceptable to the vast majority, the entire world, how do you adapt yourself to that particular country and probably make that same change in your business plan also?
Okay, that's a difficult thing.
A little.
Yeah. I think that it's quite difficult. Like, I think I don't have the exact key of how to do it.
Okay.
But I'm sure that the first step is by yourself and by your mind.
Right.
If you are not ready to open your mind to see differences and to accept them without any judge, you're not going to be able to make business with no one.
Right.
It's completely impossible. So I think that the most important thing is working on being able to meet someone, whoever, and say, you are fine for me.
Right.
And that's it.
Okay.
And I'm going to adapt me, and you are going to adapt yourself to me, and we're going to co-create together. But if you are not ready to do it, don't leave your house.
So
Stay there.
It's a game of adaptability.
Yeah, for sure. And like judging others.
Right. And if you could explain a little bit about your business to us, to our audience, what exactly is your business?
Okay. Actually, I'm working in a project called Celiacos that is based on the problematics that celiac people has when they're traveling, like finding gluten-free places to eat and be safe, and being able to do the trip without getting sick or being completely stressed the whole trip because not finding food.
Okay. And how do you make sure that, because you're not a food place yourself, right? You are not a food chain. You don't offer food to people, right? You don't have a gluten-free product ready for them to eat. Do you?
No, actually no.
No, right? And you are not a medical professional also by profession, right? So how have you converted this problem of people not finding gluten-free food how have you solved that problem? Exactly. If you could tell us with your TikTok, and how have you converted that into customers for you?
Okay. First of all, I think that the most important thing always in most projects is creating a community. You need to have a community and listen to them. Like, you don't have to design a project. You have to find the people you want to help.
Right.
And when you know who you want to help, you only have to listen to them. Create your community, create a WhatsApp group, make video calls, talk to them, like learn about what do they do, and they are going to tell you what they need. You don't need to have an idea. Like, there's many people thinking, I don't have a successful idea for a business. Nobody. You only have to listen to others and say, okay, and create that community, and then you don't need to know about medicine. You don't. You just need to say, okay, what do you need? You need a place to find other celiac people? Perfect, let's create that. You need to talk to business for them to develop something. I'm not going to develop a huge food brand. I'm sure, because nowadays it's not like my objective, and it's something too long term for me. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to put you in contact with that business. Let's go create together. Let's make a hackathon, let's make an event. I don't know, but you only need to hear.
Right.
And things came to you.
Okay. Now, if I told you that this video is being watched by students in Spain and also in India, right? Business students, students. What would your, not particularly advice, but what would you suggest them if there are people who are listening from here? If you want to tell something about home, or if you want to tell something to people from home about India that you saw here at MIT, anything that you feel, maybe the culture. For example, I just told you that we have compulsory attendance, which was a very big shock for you. If when I told you something about Indian culture, if you feel that, do you feel that these two cultures can work together in the future?
Yeah.
If these two countries should, if you could tell us, what do you feel about these two countries collaborating?
Wow. I feel that, I'm sure you know, like yin yang.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like Spanish people and Indian people, by the time of working, we are a bit yin and yang. Like, I feel like we need to learn about you. Well, I said it before, like, I'm so grateful and impressed. Like, you are so hard workers. Like, you do whatever you have to do to get whatever you want. And you don't mind about being hours doing it. And that's something great. Like, not most people in Spain do it when you are a student. Like, mostly because the like business degree that we have, it's not as good as this one. I mean, you have a different level of education here.
Right.
But I also think that Indian people also have many things to learn about us.
Yes, of
like
course.
Being like relaxed, being close, being warm. Like, don't have any problem to talk to any person. Yeah.
Right.
Like, I feel that we both like can make a great match.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that we have many things to learn. Like, also like your spiritual way, and I was impressed like the other day that you play like in the hackathon.
Prayer.
Yeah, we all prayed before beginning the day with some kind of song, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is known as the World Peace Prayer, which plays in our universities. These universities across the country in different places. But at the same time at 11 a.m. every day, this prayer is played, and at that time the entire university shuts down for 2 minutes or a minute 90 seconds. So everybody has to stand still. It is that, if I tell you, Indian culture is a lot based on discipline. So no matter what you are doing, I know it is important, Even if I was shooting a podcast and the prayer is played, and if I can hear it, I will stop and I will stand up. So if you observe at 11 a.m. every day, people will stand still in the streets of the university if the prayer is being played. So that is the level of respect that we are inculcated since the childhood. And that is how we start our day. So we start our days with prayers and here at MIT, and then it also ends with another prayer known as the Pasayana. So it ends like that. So as you said, yes, there is a lot of cultural involvement in our businesses.
Yeah.
That also brings to our business ethics. So for example, you said gluten-free, vegan. Indian culture is pretty much vegan to some extent. Vegetarian food. So a lot of things are that come from our culture. If you ask.
Yeah, so I think that's like something I should bring to Spain, or at least I want to bring inside myself, because we're not that way. Like, we don't have this kind of mindfulness and conscious about what's going on. And I think that we need that also in, like, as a society and also as business. Like, I feel like we're missing a lot of conscience. Like, not most of business has this knowledge and this view of the whole world and what's going on. And that's something I didn't know that I was missing in Spain till I arrived here, and I saw, okay, that's what I was missing. Like, I love this way of seeing the life. So I think that's something that can mix. And I don't know, I think that for all the students, the most important thing for me is get away of the people you have nowadays around you. Go by yourself, forget about everyone, and find who you are, and then you can choose who you want to be with you.
Right.
Like, you never have that chance in your life. The people you grow up with is the people you have. But that should not be that way. You have to be alone. Find who you are and who are the people who is like making you be that person and be great and better. So leave your home 1 month. Go to somewhere so cheap if you don't have the money. Save, go and find who you are and what you do really want to do in your life.
And a last question, that is lean. How does the admission process happen? And because the first question as a student that I get is, if you're traveling the world, how do you pay for it? Right?
Okay.
It will get expensive. Countries like Berlin, countries like New York, cities like New York are expensive. So how does that happen? If you could just give a little idea about it.
Okay, the process of admission, it's a bit like yours. It's like complicated. It's not about your marks.
Okay.
Like, they actually only ask you for having the school and that stuff. Okay, you pass, perfect. But you have, like, I think 3 interviews. One is about yourself, or even with your family if you want. If not, you can go by yourself. It's an interview with someone from Lane. In the second one, you don't know it, but suddenly when you arrive to that proof, they sit you with other people you don't know who is also like doing the admission, and they give you, it's a mini hackathon. They give you a problem, you have to solve it, but you have like 2 hours, and then you have to pitch. Okay. But at school, you've never pitched in your life, so you have to make the first pitch of your life. And then the other one, you have to send a learning contract. This is a tool that we use in Lane. A learning contract is somewhere where you can, like, film yourself or write something or draw. You can express the way you want. In which you have to talk about my past situation, about, I don't know, business, personal, mental health, objectives, my present, in respect of that 4 things, or they can be whatever you want, but this is the basic. My present situation and my future. So you have to write it down or film yourself and send it to Lane. Also, that's a tool that we implement nowadays in a degree. Like, I have my personal contract where I write, like, before coming India. Okay, I was in Korea, blah, 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 blah. I'm that way in the present. I'm going to take the flight to India. I feel that way, I want that way. And when I finish India, I will say, okay, it's finished. I feel like this. And I'm going to check my past learning contract and say, did I check my objectives? Who I am now, who I was when I wrote that. So that's the process of admission.
So you learn by yourself about yourself and the entire world.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
How do you say in Hindi?
In Hindi,
Thank you.
say dhanyavad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a really
Dhanyavad.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you say, we'll say that to the master camera. You say dhanyavad.
What?
Yeah, so dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad.
Muchas gracias. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.